In the past couple months, the mysteries of Patient 46 and the Sticky Note Room have been brought back into the picture. YouTubers like FNaF and ID's Fantasy have tackled this using some new evidence that a lot of people either overlooked or didn't notice. So I thought I'd relook at the topic and do another video going over all the evidence for who Patient 46 could be, and how some of the evidence and ideas could actually work together. I think I actually have a good idea that works with all the evidence that we have, that doesn't leave out any evidence for any theories. So I hope you guys enjoy the video, but before we start, I want to know who you guys think Patient 46 is. Let me know in the comments, and without further ado, let's get started.
Make me a hero, someone to turn to and rely on their will to win. Make me a hero who puts up a fight both day and night. Oh.
When Security Breach first came out, I actually believed that Patient 46 was just the alternate personality of Vanessa. However, that is actually impossible. Patient 46 being Vanny is still a decently popular idea, but it simply cannot be true. To put it simply, Vanny is Vanessa, and while it is very clearly a split personality situation, they are still literally the same person. The same person wouldn't be marked as multiple separate patients. Vanessa is also explicitly stated to leave town at a certain point, going on to work at the Pizzaplex, and that was CD number 12, and right after that, there are no more tapes with Vanessa and only ones of Patient 46.
I understand you'll be transferring to a different location soon. I'll be sorry to see you go. I think we've been making progress.
I'm needed somewhere else now. Thank you.
Well, yes, the therapist does change after that, it's still only Patient 46. Why would Vanessa not have any more tapes right after she left town unless she's no longer going to therapy? Therefore, Patient 46 is absolutely not Vanny. Another thing about Patient 46 is that they act like a child and don't fit well in a chair. This implies that Patient 46 is a kid, or at the very least appears as a kid. This has led some people to believe that Patient 46 is Gregory, but that can't be true because we know Patient 46 to be female. In the subtitles for other languages, Patient 46 is referred to with female pronouns. Gregory, while completely cool with destroying all the animatronics, very much seems to have good intentions. In fact, I believe Gregory to be a robot, and if you don't believe he is, I recommend watching my video on why he most likely is. But the basic idea is that Mike built Gregory to destroy the Glamrock animatronics because that's what the wall code tells us. Gregory was built to destroy the animatronics and save people and souls. He doesn't have malicious intent, he has benevolent intent. So Patient 46 isn't Gregory either. It is possible Patient 46 is a new character, and I'd be cool with that, but most evidence points to it being someone that we know. The most recent idea for who Patient 46 is comes from the YouTuber FNaF, who suggested that Patient 46 is actually a young Charlie bot, like the ones from the books, who is possessed by Charlotte but infected by Glitchtrap, forcing Charlotte to just sit back and watch her body be used for awful things. Evidence for this comes from the fact that the door to Michael's room, the room with the CDs, transforms into a small door, similar to the smallest Charlie bot closet door from the graphic novels. There are a bunch of Nightmare On references in Security Breach, but the problem with using this as evidence is that nothing actually connects those references to Nightmare On to Patient 46. In fact, if anything, they more so connect Charlie to the staff bots themselves, as not only are some designed like Nightmare On, but almost all of them have red cheeks and tear tracks, and some are even security bots like the security puppet. Charlie to me is more likely the staff bots than Patient 46, but there is some more evidence for Charlie being Patient 46 to go over. Charlie died outside while waving through a window, and Patient 46 doesn't like outside and prefers to keep windows shut. The therapists also talk about Patient 46 having fantasies, and the name of the music in the Security Puppet minigame is Alchemist's Fantasy. There's also an arcade machine called Ballistic Puppet Show, with 3 variations of the puppet, and wrapping around the entire arcade are wires that look like the puppet's tentacles. However, some of this evidence doesn't really apply to Patient 46, but the stuff that does actually makes more sense if it's not Charlie. One thing FNaF brings up in his video on Patient 46 is how in the 4th closet, Elizabeth possesses the 4th Charlie bot, but she doesn't feel like the memories of Charlie are her own. Elizabeth has all of Charlie's memories, but she doesn't feel any actual emotion when she thinks about them. But now take a look at Patient 46.
Well, I'd like to start by talking about your parents. What happened to them? And you? It was tragic. But when I looked through the notes, I didn't get a sense that you've processed that emotionally. When I read your account of what happened, it came across as, well, more of an objective rather than a subjective narrative. Oh, sorry. You don't know what that means, do you? What I mean is that the way you told the story is more like you were reading something from a book than you were talking about your own past.
She gives the therapist a backstory, but this backstory to the therapist seems almost like it's someone reading a story, like someone explaining the backstory of someone other than themselves. What if Elizabeth is actually patient 46 and she's using the backstory of Charlotte? I think in the games the same thing happened where Henry made the Charlie bots, but I think he found that Charlie possessed the puppet and scrapped the idea. But William still went on to take that last Charlie bot and experiment on it. I don't believe it ended up becoming the actual circus baby in the games, but I think it was turned into a new and improved circus baby that Elizabeth somehow managed to possess after the events of FNaF 6. Remember how the last therapist says one of the previous therapists was found mangled by machinery? What if that was because of the circus baby scooping claw? Going back to the Silver Eyes trilogy though, Circus Baby in those books uses illusion discs as well. In one of the CD tapes, the therapist mentions security footage of patient 46 speaking to Vanny. However, she says the footage looks distorted. This may not seem like much at first, but this is actually a thing in the fourth closet. Elizabeth uses illusion discs to appear as Charlie, but Clay is suspicious of her and spies on her, taking pictures of her. These pictures end up showing everything perfectly except Charlie, who was blurry. Even when the rest of the same photo is fine, specifically Charlie was blurry. Patient 46 is using illusion discs, but not only that, they are connected to Vanny. A couple days ago, I made a video talking about all the interesting details I found in Security Breach Fury's Rage, and one of those details was a pod containing a silhouette of a baby animatronic, similar to Eleanor from the books. This pod baby is on the final level of the main game, on the same map where we face off against Vanny. It's also said that Vanessa is being manipulated, and later on it is revealed that Patient 46 is the one doing the manipulating. In the third CD, the therapist asks Vanessa about her past. Her father was a man named Bill, and he supposedly manipulated Vanessa into lying and saying bad things about her mother in order for Bill to get custody after they got divorced. This led to her mother most likely offing herself after losing her child. However, something is a bit off here. Her father's name was Bill? Bill is short for William. William Afton, the most manipulative man in the series, is Vanessa's supposed father. The story Vanessa is telling doesn't belong to her, it belongs to one of the Afton children. If she's using a fake backstory, it would have been issued by Patient 46, which would imply that Patient 46 is the child of Afton. And as I said before, Patient 46 is female, and Afton only has one daughter, Elizabeth. In Fazbear Frights, there's the character of Eleanor, who, while not possessed by Elizabeth, shares a bunch of common attributes with Elizabeth. Many people believe that Eleanor has nothing to do with Elizabeth, but this is simply not true. Eleanor is not Elizabeth herself, she's a being purely made of agony, but she and Elizabeth do very similar things and look very similar. Eleanor is basically designed like Circus Baby, but with a slimmer body and a longer neck. Both Eleanor and Elizabeth manipulate the main character in order to kill them and pose as that person, stealing their body. She also uses illusion discs to appear as the child of someone who studies Remnant, which seems to suggest that this man represents William Afton. So, Eleanor uses illusion discs to appear as the child of one of the creators of Freddy's. Circus Baby uses illusion discs in the fourth closet to appear as Henry's child, Charlie, the protagonist of the series, who also wears a purple shirt, suggesting she assumes the role of Michael in the novel trilogy, and Circus Baby in the games uses Michael's body. All of this seems to suggest that Eleanor represents Circus Baby, and since Eleanor in Fazbear Frights is the villain after William, one who has been doing stuff in the shadows, it seems Elizabeth in the body of the in-game version of the fourth Charlie bot is Patient 46, as she is another character who does stuff in the shadows. Eleanor in the 9th epilogue of Fazbear Frights actually replaces a girl that Jake finds, but she tells Jake her supposed backstory. However, this backstory she uses is the one belonging to Renelle, Talbert's daughter. Eleanor uses the body of one person while using the backstory of another. At the end of the CDs, the therapist reveals that Patient 46 supposedly lied about their past. All her trauma was made up, and Patient 46 actually had great parents. The thing is that she's using the backstory of Charlotte, the backstory that she has contained in her own memories but has no feelings toward. She's using Charlotte's backstory, but she's using the body of a random girl that she found. It's very possible the body that she's using is that of Jessica from Frailty, though that is just speculation. It's also possible that she is using illusion discs to appear as herself as she looked when she was still alive. The important thing is that it seems most likely that, like Eleanor in the books, Patient 46 uses the past of one person while using the body of another. Patient 46 is also said to really like the idea of disguises, and both Eleanor and Circus Baby in the fourth closet use illusion discs, and in the games, she uses a human's body, hiding herself. A lot of people say that Patient 46 can't be Elizabeth because Elizabeth has a picture of a flower in her room and was trapped underground for years, while Patient 46 doesn't like flowers and doesn't like being outside. But so much other evidence points toward Patient 46 being Elizabeth, so I kinda just assumed maybe Elizabeth doesn't like outside but just hated being trapped specifically, and maybe the flower in her room was just there as decoration. But if Elizabeth is using Charlotte's body and has all of her memories, it could just be that she feels this way about certain things because of Charlotte's memories. And finally, there is the Ruin teaser. Now take this with a grain of salt, as Ruin isn't out yet, but just bear with me. Patient 46 is a female and is implied to be a child. In the Ruin teaser, we see a female who is a child. But that's not all. If we look at this child's design, it is actually pretty similar to the design of Elizabeth. It is very possible that the Ruin girl is Patient 46, and if that is the case, it may further imply that Patient 46 is Elizabeth. But what about the Sticky Note Room? FNaF suggested that the Sticky Note Room character is the same character as Patient 46, who he believes to be a Charlie bot possessed by Charlotte but corrupted by Afton. ID's Fantasy made an amazing video talking about her thoughts on the Sticky Note Room and how it could be both Charlotte and the bite victim. Many people latched onto this video, and while I think she absolutely hit it out of the park in suggesting that the Sticky Note Room had 2 people in it, I don't believe the bite victim is one of them. I feel like many people overlooked that many of the sticky notes that connect back to Elizabeth, and even some of the ones that people use as evidence for the bite victim work as evidence that it is Elizabeth as well. I agree that Charlie is in the Sticky Note Room, but I don't think it is as a Charlie bot. I think Charlie is in the room as a scrapped staff bot. Earlier in the video, I mentioned the possibility of Charlie inhabiting the staff bots, but the 4th closet shows that when fragments of a spirit are separated from each other, the fragments have their own consciousness, but also lose some memories. We only see the missing children in the 4th closet split up between a few bodies, but what if they were split up between tens, maybe hundreds? The staff bots are very clearly made based on the puppet, and Han Unit in FNaF VR claims that they use circuit boards from the original animatronics as shortcuts to making new technology, just using the old circuit boards as they basically have the same programming. If they were making the staff bots based on the puppet, it would make sense that they use circuit boards from the puppet in order to replicate its original AI. It seems like maybe they use these boards on the bots, downloading Charlotte's spirit into each of the bots. Because her spirit is split up between so many bodies, her spirit would most likely forget things. I made a video on this idea a while ago, and in that video I suggested that maybe Elizabeth's spirit was downloaded onto the Circus Baby staff bots. I still think that makes sense, but what I no longer believe is my idea that a Circus Baby staff bot was thrown down into the sewer and rose to consciousness. What if it wasn't a Circus Baby staff bot, but rather a regular staff bot? One with Charlotte's spirit, who regained consciousness because the animatronic could no longer fulfill its programming. The spirit of Charlotte once again became aware. As for Elizabeth, maybe the Charlie bot she was inhabiting was living down in the sewer. These sewers were her home, and now Charlotte was living in it. Elizabeth is the one who said, "This is my home, leave." It's a bit difficult to figure out which sticky notes belong to who, but I think this is the chain of events. Elizabeth somehow began inhabiting the 4th Charlie bot and ended up down in the sewers, possibly because Fazbear Entertainment didn't see it as useful and just discarded it. Many staff bots were down there with her, but they were mostly just decapitated heads. Elizabeth lived down in a room missing her family, and she literally turned some of these staff bots into her family. But one day, a staff bot is brought down there with her, discarded. Elizabeth doesn't want this staff bot here, and she tells it that this is her home and the bot has to leave. The staff bot begins coming into consciousness, at first asking why they exist and learning how to write in English. Her memories begin coming back, and she recognizes Elizabeth drawing her circus baby looking body and claiming that she is a part of the Afton family. It's possible they actually become friends, as one of the sticky notes says friends forever. Another sticky note has the words ice cream on it, which matches how Elizabeth dies, and nothing else in the series actually has anything to do with ice cream. The line of all for me could just be referencing the line from Sister Location where Elizabeth says,
"Daddy just once let me go play with her. She's so pretty and shiny. Didn't you make her just for me?"
And all the birthday references could be a connection to Circus Baby's line of,
"It feels like my birthday. Did you have a gift for me?"
There are sticky notes saying you and me, further implying that there are 2 people here. There's a sticky note saying stop, go. This matches the instructions from Night 5 of Sister Location when Baby keeps telling us when to go forward and when to stop. There's a drawing of what looks like a Freddy plushie, which could be a reference to Charlotte possessing the Fredbear plushie in FNaF 4. Even the handwriting on one of the 3 bundles of sticky notes matches the handwriting of Charlie in the Silver Eyes graphic novel. So much in the sticky note room matches Charlie, and so much matches Elizabeth. But I feel like it can't just be one of them. It has to be both of them. But here's the real kicker. It really seems like there are 2 people in the sticky note room. but the door to the sticky note room in the files of Security Breach has the name of an inhabitant. But there's only one name, and the file name of this door is Charlie Door. Now, why would this door only have one name on it if there are two people here? Well, to put it simply, both of them are Charlie. One is the spirit of Charlie, and one is the robot body of Charlie. So there you have it. The sticky note room contains the spirit of Charlotte in a staff bot body, and the spirit of Elizabeth in a Charlie bot body. But I want to know your thoughts. Do you agree with this theory? Let me know in the comments who you think Patient 46 is, and who you think is occupying the sticky note room. And if you did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, but I will see you all in the next video. Bye guys!